Welcome back to Conversations. Today, I'd like to talk about something about that I watched yesterday that bothers me a little bit because Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of my favorite people that I watch on TV. He's an astrophysicist that I watch constantly on his show Star Talk, just about every week, and also watch Piers Morgan Uncensored every week as well. Now, Piers Morgan, I've been following him for decades. So does Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's one of my favorite scientists. But having watched Neil deGrasse Tyson's and Piers Morgan for years, I do know that Piers Morgan's is leaned toward the right the right side of the political spectrum. And Neil deGrasse Tyson is leaned to the left of the political spectrum. Now, what Neil deGrasse Tyson said yesterday about transgender athletes shocked me a little bit. Let's watch this clip on Piers Morgan's Uncensored that was debuted yesterday, December 7th, 2024. Uh, but anyway, let's watch this clip and you decide for yourself how you feel about this.
I really enjoyed. Love watching you on Bill Maher. But you had a little disagreement about this very hot potato issue about the science of trans athletes in women's sport. Let's take a look.
Engage with the idea here. What I'm asking is, Scientific American is saying basically that the reason why an WNBA team can't beat the Lakers is because of societal bias.
What you're saying is not Scientific American says that. An editor for Scientific American says that who no longer has the job. So don't indict a 170-year-old magazine because somebody...
Okay, this is called Scientific American, and they're printing something
because someone enters the cesspool that is social media and then participates in that exchange. So
why can't you
let's talk about science.
Why can't you just say this is not scientific and Scientific American should do better?
So I have been on this issue for a long time, and I am surprised, given your earlier statement just now about the importance that we have a fact-based society where science is based on reality and everything else. Is there not? I would put it to you, Neil. There is a cold, hard reality about this whole trans issue, which is that I'm sure like you, I absolutely want all trans people to have utter equality and fairness in the way that I do and you do. Absolutely. I've never said anything different. However, not to the point where it erodes women's rights to fairness and equality. And there is clearly a growing unfairness and inequality from the issue of people who are born biologically male, identifying as women and being allowed to compete against biological females, and then beginning increasingly to be quite dominant, to the extent where we saw people winning in the boxing in the Paris Olympics. We've seen the Footballer of the Year, Women's Footballer of the Year in the UK, voted by the BBC, Barbara Banda from Zambia, also has been banned for sex-related issues in terms of not being allowed to compete in previous tournaments, and so on and so on. The UN just had a big report which said that 900 medals around the world in competitive sport have been deprived from female athletes because trans athletes had won. So I put it to you that you're a scientist. It is clearly an indisputable scientific fact that biological males have a superior power and stamina and lung power and all these other things to biological females, because if they didn't, we would never separate the sexes in sport. The Olympics would be gender neutral, and they're not for a reason. Women wouldn't win anything. So when I hear you try and justify it or say that there's a scientific, and maybe there's not, maybe I'm misquoting you here, but there's some kind of scientific reason why it's fine, I'm like, hang on, Neil, you're Mr. Reality Check. You're Mr. Cold Hard Fact. Surely you can see that this is wrong without it actually having to be transphobic to say that.
Here we go.
So you have me here live on your show. We don't have to comment on other shows. So let's just have this conversation.
Yeah.
So I did my own study of the relative speed of men relative to women in Olympic sports, the world records, from the 100 meters to the 200 meters, the 400, right on up to the marathon. And what I noticed is in every event, on average, men were 10% faster than women. 10% faster. And in events that require strength, that percent was even higher. I forgot what my exact number. It might have been 50% stronger. Okay, so across the board, that is the case. So that's not there's no dispute there. That's
Right.
just objective truth. So now we have to ask, why do we watch sports at all? Okay, and at Friday Night Lights, that's in the United States, that's high school football. Saturday, it's college football. Sunday, it's the NFL. Do you realize, of course, that the worst team ever in the NFL could wipe its ass with the best team ever in college? Why? Because every single player in the NFL was the best person in their college. And so there's no contest between these zones of athletic engagement. But we still like watching college. We don't watch college and say, the Philadelphia Eagles could whip their ass, so let's not watch it. No, we like the equality of the contest and not knowing who would win. That's what makes sports fun. Okay, so if there's a wave of trans women who dominate the sport against other women, all those sports will become less interesting based on how we all watch sports. Even the Super Bowl here in the United States, if it's a blowout by halftime, nobody watches the second half.
Right.
We watch it for the equality of the contest. Okay, so
Sounds like you agree
all
with me
I'm
then.
saying is, like you said, wait, I'm almost done. So what I see is sports is on the frontier of how to handle this frontier of people who are trans. It's on the frontier of how to resolve that. And I'm making this up now. Imagine the future of sports does not distinguish sex. It distinguishes and sorts people by hormone ratios. I'm making this up, but imagine that if that were the case. That would be interesting. You get a hormone test, you're in this range, and then you compete against other people with the same range of
That's
hormones.
ridiculous.
That's
Neil, that is ridiculous.
No, it's not. I'll tell you why it's
You're
not
going to give
ridiculous.
every
Hold on.
single
I used to
person in
wrestle.
sport a hormone test.
Hold on. I used to wrestle. And wrestling, there are people who weigh, sorry, am I using pounds here, 125 pounds, right on up to 240 pounds. They
Sure.
don't wrestle each other. The entire sport separates people so that the contest is interesting.
Yeah.
And so the people of the same weight wrestle each other, and that is the contest.
But if Floyd Mayweather,
I don't know if that's how it will land.
Hang on, Neil. If Floyd Mayweather fought a woman boxer, a female woman boxer, who was the same weight division, he would annihilate her. That's why we don't let it happen. And in fact, in the Paris Olympics, the winner of one of the women's boxing competitions, one of the
Piers,
females
that's not
who
what I was
took her
talking
on.
about.
Well, yeah, but my point is that I just think that, if you don't mind me saying, I say this respectfully because I love you, but it just seems to me like you've dug yourself into a slight hole on this issue, and
No.
you're trying to get out of it.
No.
This is what I'm talking about. Neil deGrasse Tyson put himself in a position where he shouldn't be. He got on the Piers Morgan uncensored shows, and he talked about politics. Neil deGrasse Tyson is not political. He's not a politician. He is a scientist, and maybe he tries some comedy as well. He chose Star Talk, which I'm a huge fan of. It's about physics, science, astrophysics, and comedy. He used comedy and science together to draw out the to watch to bring the people in. It reminds me of a podcast I used to listen to on NPR years ago. It's called Cars Talk. About these two guys, I think they're brothers. They talk about cars and comedy as well. It was fun. You get to learn about cars, and it wasn't political. It wasn't drama. It was something fun to listen to while driving. That's what Cars Talk is about. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson is about. And Piers Morgan, on the other hand, is pure political. It's all politics, actually, on the Piers Morgan Uncensored. So I've been watching Piers Morgan's and Neil deGrasse Tyson for decades. I know that Piers Morgan is leaning toward the right, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is leaning toward the left. So it sort of shocked me a little bit, but it wasn't really that shocking to know that Piers Morgan's is leaning toward the left when he say that trans athletes can compete with any athletes as long as they test for hormones, and their hormones or testosterone is the same level as the other athletes. I think that's 100% pure ridiculous. What um what Neil deGrasse Tyson said, and he gets a lot of heat on this on the internet now. I think it's gonna blow off because he's not political. He doesn't like to get himself into politics. But anyway, I just want to bring this little clip to you on what Neil deGrasse Tyson said that transgender athletes can compete with the same with women's athlete or any other athletes as long as they are tested with the same hormones level. It's ridiculous to me. But anyway, thank you for watching. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. See you next time. Thanks again.